The clock winked. Sally did a double take. Clocks can't wink, she muttered to herself as she took a hesitant step towards the mantel.
They'd had the clock for years, and it had always done what it was supposed to do, sit there and indicate the time, unfailingly ticking away year after year.
Sally was right next to the mantel now, nose to nose with the clock. Well, if the clock had a nose, Sally would be nose to nose with it. And then it sneezed.
Achoo!
Sally leapt backwards. Ew, gross! She yelled. Don't you know you're supposed to cover your mouth when you do that? She wiped her face with her sleeve. Sorry, it's a bit difficult to do that when you've got no hands, the clock replied. Well, actual hands. I have clock hands, you see. Sally had stood frozen while the clock had said all of this. You can talk! Clocks don't talk. They don't. I must be hearing things. Oh, I don't know. I must be going crazy. But I can't be. I'm a normal child. Perfectly normal. Yes, I just didn't get enough sleep last night. Yes, that's it.
Sally did not in fact seem normal because of this display of talking to herself. Everyone knows only crazy people talk to themselves.
You're not mad at all. No, on the contrary. I'm just incredibly bored of sitting here day after day. Did you know that you and your family hardly ever pass by me? And the coffee table won't talk to me. Not since I mentioned that it wasn't really made out of oak, just a synthetic brand. The clock looked at Sally with a very sad face. Clearly it was in fact very lonely. Sally looked at the clock like it was insane. So you're telling me that you scared the snot out of me because you're lonely? Couldn't you have been a bit more sensitive to the fact that in the real world, clocks don't actually talk? She was practically shouting by this point. What kind of mad thing are you? You're a clock that talks. You shouldn't exist. Sally finished, panting slightly. I'm sorry. The clock did sound genuinely sorry. But it really is lonely down here. I haven't had anyone to talk to for so long. Really, I would be so pleased if you came down here only once a week. Well, maybe twice a week. For free? Is every day too much to ask? Sally thought the clock looked so sad and a little pitiful. It really would be lonely down in the basement if it was all by itself. And there wasn't much down there, and the clock had been right when it said that no one ever went down there. No one ever did. Well, it couldn't be too hard to come down and visit the clock. It would be okay if she only came once a week, right? Well, she said to the clock, I have to go now, but I promise you that I will come back tomorrow and visit you. The clock looked absolutely overjoyed at this prospect as Sally left the basement.
She still wasn't convinced it wasn't some elaborate hoax, but she would play along.
As time went on, Sally began to spend more and more time with the clock, having picnics in the basement, reading the clock stories. It particularly liked Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and just laughing and talking and having a good time. But what always seems to happen is that children grow up. Sally began to visit the clock less and less, attributing her obsession with the old clock as childhood fantasies, imaginations, wishful thinking. Sally grew old and left her parents' home to begin her own life, and the clock lay lonely in the dust with only the occasional passing by of people when they needed this screwdriver or that Christmas ornament stored in the dark basement. Eventually, Sally's parents left the house, forgetting about the clock. Perhaps it's still there, ticking sadly away.
I hope you guys enjoyed my short story. I really didn't mean for it to get so depressing, but it just kind of happened. And I'm sure you all can attest to the fact that stories like to run away with you sometimes. Anyway, here's your reread update for today. Chapter 16 today, Chapter 17 tomorrow. Look at how close we're getting. Oh my goodness. One more really quick thing before I go. A really good friend of mine has started vlogging and she's posted her first video just this past week. So please go and check her out. Give her some awesome, give her some support, give her some tips and advice. Please just go and check her out. There's a link in the Chamber of Secrets. She's known as that awesome geeky kid. Also, her birthday's on Monday, so you should go and wish her a happy birthday. So Kylie, I look forward to seeing your short story tomorrow. Goodbye.